Chief Ortiz, are you aware that there was an explosive device found by Border Patrol agents on January 17th in an area called No Man's Land, and there's surveillance of who put it there? And guess what? It wasn't Americans, it was cartels. Are you aware of that?
Thank you, Congresswoman, and good to see you again. I will tell you that some of this information that I receive in a confidential skiff, so I'm going to be a little hesitant of briefing what I know and what I don't know with respect to some of an event like that.
I understand, Chief Ortiz, but I'm not going to be confidential because I think people deserve to know. Our Border Patrol agents should not be in those type of conditions where they are at risk of being blown to pieces by the cartels, who, by the way, are criminals, and they should be treated as such. As a matter of fact, I've co-sponsored legislation to declare war on the cartels because they are definitely declaring war on us.
There's Marjorie Taylor Greene at a House Homeland Security meeting, of course, promoting herself and not speaking any kind of reality to situations, because as she is grilling U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz about this particular incident. Let's look at an image of what she tweeted out that she's so upset about. It was apparently an explosive device found by Border Patrol agents January 17th, she says. They have surveilled of who brought it in and when, and confirmed it was the cartel. Boy, that was an odd sentence she put together there. But she says this changes everything, and that is her main point. This changes everything. Not only are the cartels murdering Americans every day through drugs and crime, but now they're planning bombs. Because of course they're targeting now the Border Patrol, she's saying. Now, how about that bomb that she saw taped up there? According to Fox LA correspondent there, Bill Milligan, he tweeted this out after they discovered some reality to it. A high-level CBP source tells me that this was a fake. It was actually filled with dirt. It was discovered by Border Patrol agents in Rio Grande City in the RGV. And while it appears nefarious, I'm told it did not contain any explosives, which of course, if you see something like this, of course it's cause for concern. And as we saw off the top, the deputy that she was talking to, he seemed to know some more information about it, but he wasn't willing to talk about it for whatever reasons. Maybe it was to keep from embarrassing her further by saying, yeah, we've already checked that out. And since you asked me what I do know, maybe I shouldn't tell you because I can tell the way that you talk about these things and you always portray them falsely for her own benefit. The reason I say that is because you saw on the back end of this even opening statement that she had was, and I filed legislation. It goes right back to promoting herself and trying to make sure that she's seen as this conscious legislator in office. In reality, she's just trying to continue this drumbeat of a war with Mexico, which she keeps talking about because Mexico is strictly the cartel. But still, she also points out how she has these issues and she's concerned about Border Patrol agents and their safety, even their safety sometimes when they go off and sometimes also commit suicide. Let's let her talk about that.
And you mentioned, how many suicides did you say there were among Border Patrol agents?
17.
Out of 18,000?
16,000.
Okay.
Well, 19,000, 19,500, including
19
supervisors and management.
Out of 19,500, there were 17 suicides. And you said there were how many suicide under New York?
30 out of 35,000 officers, 4.
4. That shows the tremendous difference in stress and emotional toll on Border Patrol agents with a much higher suicide rate. And that again is devastating.
Marge is also concerned with the suicide rates of Border Patrol agents, and she compared it even to, I believe, NYPD folks. But there's one other aspect and one level of officers that dealt with these types of things that she doesn't give a damn about. Because if you, in case you forgot, 4 officers who responded to the U.S. Capitol attack also died by suicide. Now, she was pointing out the numbers of their total force because of the numbers behind it. 17 from 19,500, pretty bad. But she said it's even worse because in normal circumstances in police circles, it's 4 out of 35,000. I looked into it because there's 4 Capitol officers after the riots that happened. And there's 2,300 Capitol Police officers, Sharon. That would be a pretty bad number because that's much lower than both of those others. And there's 4 of them that committed suicide after these attacks that happened. I'm sorry, they died by suicide from this situation that happened there. This constant drumbeat of selling herself with false information and all kinds of different ways of portraying it will just continue no matter how much people show the lies that she's telling.
She's all over the place, and you're trying to make sense of it. Just don't make sense. It was dirt, Jayar. You know, duct tape was around. I made something like this for my puppies because they constantly chew through the tennis bowls. But there she goes again, okay, with her nonsense. And she said, as you said, this changes everything. If she would only read beyond the first few sentences, maybe we could have a decent discussion, maybe. And I think that he was trying to help her out in his testimony, because I won't remain confidential. Do you mean classified? You don't get a choice, okay? And you gotta explain to her these very basic terms.
But she's, of course, thinking, well, if I tell or people, not even constituents, the people that are listening to me, that I'm not gonna stay behind those barriers, then she's this courageous figure. Again, it goes back to self-promotion, and who cares what it is. And by the way, you can have the concern when they find something like this.
Sure.
But as the position you're in, maybe you should know exactly what was happening before you then go to promoting yourself. But with the carousel continues to go round and around and around. Next week, it'll be the next lie that she's telling. But will she come forward now and say she was wrong? I'm waiting for that part. Maybe she already did, and I'm willing to accept that.